watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like the old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How bold is your soul? I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, and when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even come to the earth, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you are my friend. And yes, we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without our world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. And I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm tough enough, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Hello and welcome to our Sunday service. This is the meditation on prosperity and releasing poverty consciousness. Let us begin by taking a few nice and rich, deep breaths. And while you breathe, just connect with yourself, claiming that space for yourself. Blocking off any distractions. And being here present with yourself. Now, just relax into your heart space. And as you connect with your financial vibration, notice if there's any area coming up that doesn't feel so good. Just let it come up for you. And then gently observe this feeling moving there, approaching it. Just like you do it in the mirror exercise, ask this part what it needs to feel loved. And then receiving all of that in that place, filling it up with presence, love, and everything it needs. And then allow yourself to receive this healed part, integrating it back into your heart. What would a life of great and limitless abundance feel like? Would it feel perfectly supportive? Yes. Imagine the feeling of having perfect twin flame love, beautiful relationships, your most exquisite home, and your favorite cars, living the full expression of your life's purpose, and enjoying an abundance in your financial wealth in heaven on earth. Just connect with this feeling and choose it, claim it more deeply. Once again, receive this feeling and just integrate it into your vibration. Live life from this abundant place, because this is your truth, and living and giving from that place of abundance translates to an ever-increasing external abundance as well. Now please ground, take a nice deep breath, and enjoy the rest of our Sunday service.
Hello, everyone. I am Kanisha, and I will be doing today's card reading. I will be pulling from the Angels of Abundance Oracle cards from Doreen and Grant Virtue. I have pre-shuffled, so let's get started. Our first card is going to be Words of Abundance. It says, you have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerfully positive words. Always describe your own and the world's economics situation in loving and optimistic terms. And that is what you attract for yourself and others. So I feel that this card is really pointing to the place where you may not recognize what you say about your abundance or your finances or your home, whatever it is that you feel is abundance to you, which can be anything, opportunities, people, situations, just anything that is abundant and is going to expand your life is a form of abundance. And so you'll want to ask yourself, how do you talk about it within yourself or out loud? Is it things like, there is not enough money for me, or there's more month than money, or opportunities just don't fall in my lap? Whatever it is, you'll want to ask yourself, what is it that you say in your mind over and over again to continue to recreate this in your reality? When you start to speak positively about your abundance, like, I have more than enough, all of my needs are met, money flows easily to me, I attract abundance everywhere I go, things like that, you will find that you actually do attract all of that very easily, because your choice is so powerful and your words are very powerful. I've heard many times before that words are like spells. That's why we call it spelling. And so when you speak out into the universe about not having enough, you're going to have that mirrored back to you. Yes, you're right, you don't have enough. But when you speak in positive ways, you'll see that be mirrored back to you. And so it's really important that when you speak or think about your abundance, that it is in a positive and loving way. And if it's not, then you have some work to do, and that's okay. We're all healing poverty consciousness, and your healing is going to affect the consciousness altogether. And so as you go into that place and you feel into maybe where you feel fear about your abundance or lack, and you choose to bring love into that space and really fill your cup in that space, you'll see that the universe and God will align things for you, for your abundance to come easily, whether it is through work or just unexpected finances that just kind of come into your lap. Whatever it is, you have to just release attachment to how it comes to you, but know that you'll be taken care of, and that it is your job to really start speaking positively about your abundance. All right, the second card is visualize abundance in all forms. It says, God gave you such a great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes a reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings, and that is what you will experience. Absolutely. So as you visualize an abundance in all forms, again, that can be in any way that is abundant to you, opportunities, jobs, new clients, whatever it is for you. You got to visualize yourself already having it, and then also feeling the feeling of already having it. And if you feel that you can't feel that feeling quite yet, and again, it's not a very positive feeling, you just bring love there. And bringing love there is going to help transmute that and heal that altogether. And so it's just giving yourself the opportunity to really ask yourself, am I visualizing more for myself? Am I dreaming big? Am I doing these things to help me manifest and bring in what I truly desire? Or am I still playing small and keeping myself in this poverty consciousness box? If so, I invite you to step outside of it and really claim the dream life that you desire. And allow yourself to visualize having the life that you truly desire with your twin flame and your life purpose and what it is that you really want, and know that you can absolutely have it. If you can visualize it and see it in your mind, you can absolutely have it. And then last but not least, we have ask for your needs to be met. And it says, God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped. And it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking others people to assist you. Absolutely. So this card really reminds me that God is your source. Anything that you need, anything. This is one of my favorite things that I've learned on this journey of being in unionist is anything that I need, if I ask God for it, there's never been a time where he hasn't provided it for me. It may not be right away, but it always is provided. And sometimes it surprises me how God will love me and move through other people to provide what it is that I need. And other times he just divinely guides me. He gives me ideas or inspiration, and then it leads to the thing that I wanted, whatever it was. But when I ask God for it, it really does release the stress and the pressure, and it clears the path for me to be aligned with what I want. But when I try to do it by myself, that's when we find the struggle, the feeling of lack, the feeling like this is never going to happen. And so you can absolutely heal poverty consciousness by just going to God and knowing that he is your source. And as you feel into your feelings again about your abundance and how all of this feels to you, you can absolutely heal it and really have the life of your dreams. It's up to you to believe in that, and that you are worthy of that and enough, and that you have the tools here to be able to heal that and to attract everything that you desire into your life. All right. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the sermon.
Hello everyone, I'm Christy and welcome to today's Sunday service. I have the privilege of introducing the sermon from Jason and Christy today about healing and releasing poverty consciousness. And it's a really juicy topic to feel into and to speak about, because you can look at it from so many different angles. And I also felt into like my life starting from childhood and how kind of it got implemented in my consciousness, because I feel the root is separation from God, right? Separation consciousness, that's poverty consciousness, that you don't know who you are because nobody told you as a child that you're divine, perfect, and completely lovable, right? That almost nobody knew that about themselves. And so, for example, in church or religion, I was growing up Catholic. There was like a lot of judgment going on, right? And I have a lot of compassion also for the older generations from us. For example, there was even like physical abuse, right? Maybe in a church or in the school system, that when they gave like the wrong answer, that they got punished for it, right? It's kind of that God would be a punishing God. And so your worth and your value kind of came from a grade in school, or what others were thinking about you, and or your knowledge or whatever, right? It was very like fear-based, everything, how we were growing up. And of course, like every generation gave their best, and I feel like especially like the older ones, it got better and better in a way, but nobody really could teach you like what love really is, right? And so even if it seemed like you had enough money or your family, but there was always this feeling you cannot have it all, right? Not all your dreams are meant to come true. And of course, it was not our parents' job kind of to Christmas to like gift us every present like we desire, right? We have to learn how to manifest it ourselves. That's our job. But I also remembered, for example, when Jeff and Shaleia shared the book from Napoleon Hill, and I think it was even written in the 30s, and yeah, it's a long time ago. And it was the interview with the devil, and where he even kind of admitted that it was the plan to, for example, in the school, to feed the children with so many stuff that they cannot even think straight anymore, or for themselves, that they have no time for it, right? And so you kind of get like a slave of the system. And for example, when you finish school, then you have to be afraid to not find a job, or when you have a job, that you could lose it, because like often we didn't learn like what our talent is and what our true life purpose is, what the Church of Union and the teachings of Union teach you. Because only then you are not taking from yourself, you're not sacrificing yourself. And so often we got taught to sacrifice ourselves, to take from ourselves, like in a job or like in school, like, and so you're constantly leaking your energy, and you cannot attract your desires with that consciousness, right? That you are never enough, maybe tomorrow you are enough. And so like also I feel like another core of poverty consciousness is that change is bad, right? Like often, and also like I said, have compassion for example, our generations who experienced war, and of course it's still going on the planet, but that they were kind of traumatized and didn't feel safe, and so they were clinging onto materialism, right? Or like their possessions, or doing the same things over and over again, and thinking that brings them safety, but they didn't allow themselves to grow, right? And so God is change. God is not this traditional God, right, from religion, that you do all the same rituals. Of course, it's cool to have a ritual every day to connect with God, but God is, like Jeff and Shaleia teach, like better and better in every moment, right? Every class, Twin Flame Ascension School class, is the juiciest class ever, right? And the next one is even better, because God is fresh and new in every moment. And when we are aligned with this consciousness of everything is possible, right? Limitlessness, that's God. That's who we are. And we are one with God. And I'm so grateful that I could learn that from the teachings of Union. And because I remember when I was 18, for example, I saw a book, Love Yourself. And my first thought when I saw it was, why? Why should I love myself, right? Nobody taught me ever, because I always felt the others. I have to love the other people, right? Not me, right? It didn't make sense for me. And yeah, it's really silly and funny when I think back of that, because it's the only way, right? It's lesson number 1 from the teachings of Union. Love yourself, to come also together with your twin flame and to manifest everything in your life. So it's kind of course, the devil, kind of ego's voice, wants to keep you away from love, right? That you leak all your energy. And it's kind of really like, I also like, right, it leads to stress, like this fear. When you stress yourself out the whole day, when you're taking from yourself, and codependency and people pleasing, you lose all your energy. But the moment you relax, for example, and you're allowed to relax in every moment, you receive all the energy. And I remember Jeff said in the class that he receives 24 hours a day, and at the same time he shares himself 24 hours, right? That's one thing. But first, to allow yourself to receive, to fill your cup up, to make sure in every moment that you are nurtured, that you have everything what you need, maybe something to drink, or that you are fed well, with good food, that you feel warm, or whatever you need, right? And then sharing yourself. And that you are always like partnering with God, right? Kind of poverty consciousness is try to do everything alone, or separate yourself from others. But we are all one, right? And we are all unique, and we all have talents, and God wants us to share them with each other and to partner together, like teamwork. That is like abundance and union consciousness, right? And truth. So I really love that. And yeah, already mentioned kind of like with the school system, and yeah, to really teach our children like that no matter what kind of grade they have in school, that they don't have to worry, right? It doesn't define them and who they are. And Yeah, also like remember when Jeff shared in the class, no matter where you are born, right? When you are born in deep poverty in the third country, third world at the planet, right? For example, and it doesn't matter. You have the same amount of God. So when you start to love yourself and build a relationship with God, you can transcend and transform yourself out of everything, right? That's so powerful. No matter where you start your journey, you have the same opportunities than everybody else because we are all equal, we all have the same worth and the same power and the same God, no matter how it looks on the outside, right? That's really so powerful. And I feel like also the core is to not feed victim mentality. And God reminded me of this Bible quote like from Jesus where there was this man lying on a lake for 30 years and was feeling like a victim and that he cannot get into the lake. And Jesus came to him and said, "Stand up, take your bed and go." And he was healed because Jesus saw his divine self, right? He believed in him. And so it never serves people when we worry about them or see them as a victim. No, like God wants us to believe in them, right? That they can make a new choice in every moment and that they have the same power like everybody else. And that's really what helps them, right? I also remember when I got, for example, treated like I'm weak or I'm just a little girl or I cannot do that. At some point, you start believing that yourself, right? That this is who you are. And so it's so important to see the divine self in all of us and everyone. And I feel that's also the end of poverty consciousness. And so I love about the teachings of union, the Church of Union, that it's helping you to become your own hero, right? To take your life in your own hand, to claim your power. And that is also why I'm passionate about tithing every month to the Church of Union. And if you like to do that too, or donate whatever feels good in your heart, it's like an internal investment, right? It's my foundation for my harmonious union, for my twin flame. And I want to spread it with the world, right? That everybody can manifest their desires. It's like a deep passion in my heart. And yeah, you can check it out like on our website, unionism.org, where you also find all our previous sermons. And so now I invite you to enjoy the sermon from Jason and Chrissy.
Welcome everyone to Church Communion Sunday service.
Hi everyone.
We're Jason and Chrissy, Twin Flames in Harmonious Union. We are your executive ministers for the service today. Let us start with our opening ohms, followed by our opening prayer.
Yeah, so if everyone just wants to take a very deep breath in and join us out loud or in your heart.
I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word. Today, I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Amen. So, Chrissy, What are we doing today?
Oh, I want to talk about releasing poverty consciousness.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And one thing I want to start with is a quote that Jeff had gifted in the MAP forum. I found it very profound. And the quote is, "Poverty consciousness and the healing journey are not in vibrational harmony." Poverty consciousness and the healing journey are not in vibrational harmony.
What does that mean to you?
Oh man, that for me, it means that like you, how I can
Are you about to
explain
get
it.
all PhD?
No. Okay, so I was raised in poverty consciousness. I'm 100% positive of that. I could provide countless examples of my childhood home and poverty consciousness, right? I think a lot of people were, if not most people, are, in that energy in some way. Even if you're abundant, you have all of this money, there's still most likely some kind of poverty going on the back end in regards to something else, maybe spiritual, emotional, psychological.
You could have poverty in other ways.
Exactly.
Right.
And so like when you go to heal and choose to move through those things and choose to raise your vibration, anything, anyone, any relationship, any behavior associated with poverty is going to feel conflicting. You're going to have to iron that out within yourself and with your relationships in order to continue to rise your vibrational set point, in order to ascend. It's such a powerful and profound quote. Really, it just hit me in such an intimate and emotional way, because I was like, that is absolute truth. Like that is my experience. Right? And the experience I've had with myself, where I can catch myself doing things around the house and I'm like, why am I doing that? And you'll do things and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, why is this going on? Oh, well, it's like, it's cheaper than, or I asked you the other day, a prime example. I'm like, why are you using olive oil? Oh, well, it's cheaper than butter. And I'm like, well, should you be using butter or olive oil? Like, right? But like, we have to weed these things out of our consciousness based on what the recipe needs in Divine Dish versus like what you would do because it's cheaper, right? For example.
Sure. I don't recall that, but
yeah.
So we can't verify the truth of this
It totally
occurrence.
happens.
But absolutely, I think, living an abundant life doesn't just mean in a money type of way, although that's a big one, right? But like in all of the ways in your life that you may feel like unworthy or less.
It's a programming.
Right? It's programming that like, you don't have enough.
Right.
In a particular place.
You don't believe that you're enough, or you don't believe that you have enough.
Or you can be enough.
Or you can be enough is essentially at the core of poverty consciousness. So let's look at this from different perspectives and identify how we can switch this so we can live an abundant life. And things that we've learned along the way through the teachings of union. So we're going to start with romantic programming, right? Because we're twin flames here. We're all here for harmonious twin flame union, and that's for lovers. And so let's talk about it. So from a romantic programming set point, most of society is not actually in love, right? Most parents are not in love with one another. They're co-parenting a home.
Sure, based on like compatibility or whatever, right?
That lie that it's love is programmed so deep in our consciousness that we think it's true. But in truth, it's not, because it's a cheap lie, right? It's telling you that this is love, that having a home, having a family, having kids, that's love, that's success, that's romantic success. But when you look, a lot of those partners, a lot of those people who are living together in marriage are actually extraordinarily unhappy, which is why the divorce rate is where it's at, is because they're not living in alignment with love. they thought they were programmed to believe that's what it was, but it actually wasn't love, right? So there's very few role models on the earth today who are showing us what true love is. Jeff and Shaleia are, without a doubt, our role models in this space, role modeling for us what true love looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we too are, in a harmonious twin flame union, and we're doing that in our own way. And you have to reprogram your mind on what it is. And those are very ingrained, and that takes some time. That takes some time to unravel. It takes some time to let go of that parental partnership that is going on in most homes.
Right. And if you haven't actualized that in your mind yet, then
Imagine it.
Well, what I'm saying is that if there are a lot of if there's a lot of misinformation in your mind about what love actually is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then, well, not only does it behoove you to, provide yourself the truth, like heal through whatever it is to have the truth, but like if you're in a place where there's a lot of misinformation about what love actually is, what unconditional love actually is,
Mm-hmm.
then, being with your twin flame physically might be very, very difficult.
Might be very uncomfortable
Very
for you
uncomfortable.
if you're not in a place to receive that level of love.
Right. Because what you may believe love to be, like in a movie, say, or in
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood or something like that, isn't exactly what the same manifestation of what how twin flames love one another.
Right.
And that is by what?
Loving yourself.
Well, what do
Loving
twin flames
God.
do to what do twin flames do to bring up love unconditionally? How would you
I see.
love me
I see.
unconditionally if I'm having like a poverty
I
issue?
misunderstood your
Yeah. How would you love me unconditionally?
Yeah, I naturally, through just being, will activate that upset within you. We call that triggering.
Mm-hmm.
I will trigger that upset in Jason naturally just by like completely being myself, right? Like I won't try to. I will just naturally do it, and then Jason is responsible for moving through that upset and vice versa, right?
What happens? Yeah, what happens if I say, Chrissy doesn't know what she's talking about, and I'm going to forget about this? Does it go away?
No, it does not. It comes back tenfold and in a very magnetized.
What happens if
way.
I swipe that one aside?
It just is going to keep piling on itself.
Keep piling on.
And it'll be like a train wreck that hits your home, right? It won't go away. It'll only continue to magnify in intensity until it's actually dealt with, because your twin flame is your direct channel to the divine, and they're going to shine love on you where you're refusing to accept it within yourself.
But why? What is the point of like you pushing on an area where maybe I have a poverty block or any kind
to
of
heal
block?
Like
Okay.
I'm your teacher first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like, and you're my teacher first. And so we're here to support each other in our ascension. We're ascension tools. And so like, I push on him where he is ready to expand into deeper depths with God. Right? And so like those are the areas I will push. And I'm not doing it purposefully. I do it naturally. And so like, he'll be pushed there in order to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you resist that, and you're around your twin flame, it would be very unpleasant for you to be around them.
Right. And like you see a lot of people experience some similar things in like the open
Mm-hmm.
form, for example, where, my twin flame keeps doing this thing. Like they keep doing this thing. They keep doing this thing. Right. And like, that's not going to that's not going to change in the way that you want until you heal and change within.
Right.
Right. And so they're pointing, and without coming out and saying, hey, you need to heal this thing right here in order for us to move forward. Right. Like they're just going to live life naturally and do things naturally. Mm-hmm. And it's going to trigger you so that you can it's very efficient because you're going to be like, oh, I'm triggered. Oh, I'm triggered again. Oh, I'm triggered again.
Right.
And I'm like, here now, when I heal this, it changes my experience.
And it's healed. That's what's amazing. One of the things I love about Twin Flames is that when you heal it, it's healed, right? It doesn't come back. Doesn't like rear its ugly head. It's just healed, and you move forward in a new understanding and harmony, right? With a new programming, because you changed. And you have to be willing to continuing to learn, willing to continue to change, and willing to continue to ascend, because it doesn't end after you come into HTFU.
Right. And like, if you didn't love me unconditionally, then you would probably like point at something, and I'd be like, I don't want to hear it. And you'd be like, okay, see you later. Right? Like,
right. I wouldn't do that.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
like if like you weren't
a honey badger.
If you weren't like no,
Yeah.
if you weren't like my twin flame and you weren't committed to loving me unconditionally,
right?
Then
I see.
if I wasn't willing to grow with you, or go in the direction that you were, then you'd go find someone that was, right? Like,
yeah.
If we weren't
twin flames.
If we weren't
Yeah.
twin flames, right?
Yeah.
And so like,
it's weird for me to think about, but I get it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like, you love me unconditionally by like calling me out in those places where I need to.
That's me just loving you.
Shore myself up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
and vice versa.
And vice versa. And as you do that, you create deeper and deeper harmony, which your life just continues to get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
You never get bored, ever. Everything always just gets better. Your relationship as teacher and student get better. Your relationship as best friends goes deeper. You partner together more, and you could just go deeper into your romance and love and love making. It always only ever gets better, right? So let's look at a different programming. Let's look at beauty and how the world programs us to see beauty. This is a pretty easy one. It's extraordinarily superficial in the world. Like you can look at Victoria's Secret models. You can see how the world of beauty is like this thin, all the makeup, all the hair, very, very thin body is beauty. And young, like if you're old, you're not necessarily considered beautiful in most circumstances. It's extraordinarily unhealthy, right? And it's almost unachievable for the normal person who's living life, right? And so true beauty radiates from within, right? When you're choosing to love yourself and honor yourself and accept yourself completely, that radiates through you, and it's beautiful. And you will continue to thrive, and you will continue to express your beauty in your own way. And it has nothing to do with really like your looks. It has everything to do with how you feel about yourself inside. That's truly, that's what true beauty is. And it's incredibly priceless. It's abundant to have that. I've been working on this one for a while personally. I'm always moving into deeper acceptance of myself and loving myself. And a personal experience for me, which I think a lot of women would resonate with, is like you look back and you think like, oh, I'll be beautiful when I'm thinner. I'll be beautiful when I'm prettier. I'll be beautiful when I'm this. And then you look and you're like, I was so much prettier when I was younger. Like you're never ever prettier enough. You're never ever beautiful enough. And that's a pretty insane programming to hold on to. And so it's something that everyone wants to weed out of their consciousness and just choose to love yourself. Know that you're beautiful because you're a child of God. You are divine, and that is beautiful. And so you can hold on to that beauty, hold on to that truth, and let go of anything else that doesn't align with that.
Mm-hmm. And I think just being your confident self is beauty enough, right? Not comparing yourself to someone else, and just being secure with yourself and who you are. Yeah,
not comparing your current self to your younger self, right? Like not comparing where you are now to where you want to be. Just choosing to embrace who you are right now in the moment and realize that's divine, and honoring that and claiming that within your heart. Yeah. And so the next one I have for us to discuss is wealth programming, wealth consciousness. This is a big one. A lot of people are always moving through these financial blocks, right? We want to talk about this and what it means from a poverty perspective and like, you know, what we're discussing. So you want to start this one? About wealth programming? What do you think? Because you grew up in a predominant, you know,
Yeah, I
wealth
think
home.
I grew up in a affluent area.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had money. I guess, you know, there's so many ways I could take that. Like,
Yeah.
there was this air of it was never enough, right? It was never the things or the money. It was never enough. And I guess if you're looking at it to fill a hole within you, then it will never be enough.
Right. If you're looking at how many gold coins you have to identify how wealthy you are, or you're looking how much money you have in the bank to identify how wealthy you are.
Yeah, and what I'm saying also is like if you're looking to satiate something within yourself, and you're using money or things or objects as a way to satiate that desire, no amount of money or things will be enough.
Right. You'll always feel like you don't have enough, which is poverty consciousness, right? And so wealth is actually, wealth is how much love you enjoy within, how much joy you have within. It's all about what's going on in your inner life. That's what true wealth is all about. And so an example of this is you can look at some of the wealthier people in society today. You can look at the famous people, you can pretty much pick any of them, or you can look at the actors or Hollywood. They have a lot of money, but they are very, very unwealthy in regards to having love within, feeling joy within, and you know, you have compassion for them as they move through that. If you're moving through financial hardships, you know, you want to look at what you're doing in your life right now to increase the love you have within. How are you choosing to realign your consciousness into abundance mindset? If you start there and just choose to continue to refine your consciousness into abundance mindset, you will naturally over time increase your financial vibration. It'll just naturally happen. Now you can do things to support yourself in increasing your financial vibration. There's, you know, finance classes you can take on how to do that. But like what you really want to do is realize where you're holding on to poverty consciousness, where you're holding on to poverty programming, and choose to change that and heal. And as you heal poverty consciousness, you will move into higher and higher vibrational set points. With that higher vibrational set points comes more support. With more support comes more opportunities to grow your wealth and grow your financial abundance. Yeah. Do you have any other examples there, babe?
I don't think so.
Yeah. When you, somewhere you can start, kind of like to do activities once in a while, is that when you are raised in poverty consciousness, you will have habits within your life that are associated with that consciousness. For example, you will save things that you just blatantly don't need. You will hoard things in your house that you haven't used or you haven't touched or you haven't been around for a really long time. You might move the things that you don't want in your house anymore to somebody else's house and let it be stored. You could have an entire storage unit somewhere full of stuff you haven't touched in years. This is all examples of like being in fear consciousness and feeling like you don't have what you need or you might need this later and you might hold on to it. An example of this would be I had to turn in a sleeping bag not too long ago that was still wrapped in the plastic that I guarantee I had for like 18 years. Now I hadn't touched it and it had been in plastic and the army didn't want it. And I put it in the throwaway pile. And Jay's like, well, wait, what if we need that one day? I'm like, bro, I have not opened that up in 18 years. It's still in the plastic. We do not need that. We would not need that. If we got cold, we put a blanket on. We wouldn't use that.
I thought like maybe it would come in handy for the move.
No. And so like, it's just an example of that consciousness rearing its head and you want to say no to it. And you want to go through your house, go through your closet, go through your clothes, and like start purging things out of your life that you're no longer using. Because if you're holding on to it just because, or you're holding on to it because you think you're getting something out of it or it's bringing you something, it actually might be doing the exact opposite and be weighing you down.
Yeah, I think that brings up a great point, because like you don't want to be attached to any particular thing, right? Because then you're communicating that like you absolutely need this thing to like bring you provide your joy or provide your happiness or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you're unattached to these things, and if you haven't used something for a very long time, let it go, right? Like you will be supported and taken care of, and what you do need will show up when you need it, right? That's God's pretty good about that.
Yeah,
like
God's awesome.
Oh no, what am I gonna do? I need this thing. Well, and then it shows up. Like as you do this work, that's a regular occurrence, right?
Yeah.
What you need like regularly like shows up without you having to like drag it through like 3 different decades to like get it to use at the time that you need it, right?
Right. I think this is actually an exercise in romance attraction, is like cultivating space in your life for your twin flame. You want to cultivate space in your life for the vibration you're choosing. You want to cultivate that space for that vibration to have the space to grow. And that requires us to look at every single relationship we're having with the things in our home, with the people in our lives, and ensure that they're in alignment with where we're going and they're supporting us on our journey. If you find that you have people in your life that aren't supporting you, you really want to look at just putting some boundaries in place there. Boundaries are safe, boundaries are healthy, and boundaries don't mean cutting off. It just means a boundary that you create so you have more space in your life to thrive and to grow. And boundaries over time will, come down when you meet in harmony and in the relationship makes sense, right? In a peaceful place, right? So there's all kinds of things that you can do now to increase your vibrational set points, to increase your abundance and release poverty consciousness, and realizing it's all associated with healing. So as you heal, you'll raise your vibration. And just remember, poverty consciousness and healing are not in harmony. Yeah.
Cool.
Please join us for our closing prayer in alms. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you. I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word, and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Om, Amen.
Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them, and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
Now, take a nice deep breath in, and please chant with us out loud or in your heart.
Thank you all for watching today's Sunday service. Thank you to everyone that's contributed today for today's Sunday service. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the Church of Union YouTube, and so that you have up-to-date notifications on new services. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we'll see you if you are interested. We'll see you in tea time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you, Jason and Chrissy, for the beautiful sermon. And I really loved when they were sharing about where they also just get aware more and more, right? How they got raised and in childhood, and where poverty consciousness got implemented within themselves, that even if it looked like they have enough money, but there was like this deep lack mentality within, or not being enough, right? Kind of this hustling energy and stressing yourself out. And the Church of Union and the teachings of Union really teach you, and also like in the prayer from the Church of Union, right? To only love where God guides you, where God leads you, and not what others expect from you. So that you never take from yourself or sacrifice yourself, but being loyal only to love, right? And I also loved about love relationships, what they shared, because it will come up in your twin flame union too, right? All these old patterns, and for example, how our parents kind of like embodied a love relationship, or people around us, and all these codependency patterns, or whatever it might be, and what is like still rooted in separation consciousness and poverty, right? And so it's cool to get aware together with God and to uproot like every little part, right? And it's about learning to set boundaries also, right? To really find out where your boundaries are, so that you don't leak your energy and that you don't take from yourself, or when others expect something from you, right? That you know you're loving the whole time, you just need to focus on love, and love is the boundary. And to know that it's not a rejection, and that you always learn to trust like God within you, where you feel a no or a yes. It's also like in a free introductory course, Twin Flame introductory course about boundaries. I really love that. It's really simple to feel yes or no, right? Is your body tensioned, or is it relaxed? For example, when you ask yourself a question, and so you can navigate your whole life into abundance mindset, right? Because your good feeling leads you to God, leads you to abundance and away from poverty. So with every mirror exercise you do, wherever you love yourself, you choose union, you choose abundance, right? So I invite you now to join and visit our website, unionism.org, where you can donate or tithe if you desire. And we also have like a few blogs there that you can read, and you find all our previous sermons there. And also our YouTube channel to like and subscribe there. And you not only find our previous sermons, but also like discussions from the Church of Union about certain topics. It's really juicy. And you will also find us now there in the Unionism discussion group on Facebook, where we meet each other for after church tea time. And I invite you to join us there to maybe comment, or what you just got aware of like in your life, to uproot poverty consciousness and to really choose this abundance union mindset. So I'm looking forward to see you now there, and take care and see you very soon.